Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And we're continuing the warehouse tour. If you look behind me over here, we were just there last video, and that's all of the Hess truck. And we're starting to move on through, I call this the new territories, because this wasn't here.
Not far, like 6 months ago or a year.
And that's kind of what ends up happening is you're kind of building things out and finding any little area that you possibly can.
Right.
Now, of course, you've got to leave the space between for the ladders to fit and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we need at least 3 to 4 feet aisles, which we definitely keep those, so we're good there.
Definitely need those. Now, what are all of these boxes over here?
So this we created after last Christmas because we ran out of toy space. So these are and it took me months I did it myself, consolidated and pushed everything down. So these are the earliest listed toy boxes we have from, I think on the other side, we were talking about 2011, 2012. We've got 2016 here. So we built this, it was empty, and I started consolidating all the toys starting from the earliest years, and we saved a lot of room by putting this here. So we are now out of room again with the toys, but again, we'll wait till after Christmas, reconsolidate down, and hopefully we'll save a couple of these units and empty them out.
Now, and I know you had mentioned in a previous video when we were along the back wall, and if you haven't seen the other episodes in this, you really should. They are a lot of fun to film and hopefully a lot of fun for you watching. But you had mentioned that you really are staying away at this point from putting a lot of toys into the boxes. What toys do you put in boxes and why, and what don't you put in boxes?
Anything that can fit in boxes are the way to go. So if it's a smaller toy, we can get as much more bang for our buck putting them in a banker box. Anything oversized, obviously, we emptied these shelving units out for this reason. Board games, oversized toys, and so forth. Which you've seen the back wall, the wooden back wall. It's the same type of stuff. So a year ago, these shelves were all comics. We ran out of room for comics, and then we built this shelving unit here for the comics. So we moved the comics over. We cleared out the chrome shelving units for toys for the Christmas season, which is working out great because we can stack a ton of board games in this area.
And I want to, anybody out there, this is one issue that Mr. Magazine has, the way that he does things that I don't have. The way that I do things with my numbering system, but the way I do things would not work for him. So you need to check out what works best for you. And by that I mean, take a look over here at this box. 1226, 16, 1227, 1230, 12. This has like 6 different boxes consolidated into one. And this has a number of them as well. Mr. Magazine, just because of the way that he's set up and the way you cannot just fill things back into boxes, which is what I do. Mm-hmm. He has to continue to expand, and then about how often in what areas do you consolidate?
Well, the easiest would be toys because they're lighter. There's only, say, 5, 10, 20 toys in it. And we do sell out quick because if you sell 2 big items out of the box, it's almost empty as it is. Where everything else takes a lot more time. And as far as like magazines, we could have thousands of boxes that would take, a year to consolidate slowly. And then a lot of times you may not be you have to be half empty to consolidate the next box. So with magazines and records, that may not be the case.
Right, and that's to anybody out there that uses the dating code the way that Mr. Magazine does, where he, for example, has the 16 here means 2016. What he was talking about is if these were magazines or records, he doesn't want to consolidate this one from 1129 with this one over here from 1219, because that would just get completely confusing to whoever's pulling, because they'd be looking, 1128, 1129 is not, but it's up here with 1219, and it would just get very, very confusing. Right. So he would need 2 boxes in a row to be able to consolidate together. Right. The way that I do things is because my boxes are different, like this would be eBay 40, let's say. Well, I could always put anything into this box. The problem with that is, well, number one, it wouldn't work for your people because your listers, unless you gave them at the beginning of the day, you can list 50 magazines and they're all going into this box over here. Right. That would lead to too many problems because then the person who puts it away has to know that it goes into that box. Right. And even me, myself, at times, I will be listing into E40 and I'll need 4 magazines into it to fill it up. and then I'm listing stuff in the E9, well, I forget to change it. And then all of a sudden,
Right.
a couple of things are in E9, they're supposed to be in E40, et cetera, et cetera. So there's, I mean, the best of all possible worlds is that you have an infinite-sized warehouse, and you can just
That's
go on
true.
forever and never have to consolidate.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, none of us are in that place.
Yeah.
So make sure you figure out when you're listing how you're going to end up doing it, because you are going to have the situation, hopefully, that stuff sells. And that's going to end up leaving spaces available. How do you handle the spaces? And that's two different ways that you can handle the spaces.
And here's another issue I run into too. So say you got this box with 4 codes, this box with 6 codes. Well, if it's half full, it's perfect. You make one big box, and it sucks to write all the numbers on there. But I would do that. But you run into the issue where, say there's 1 or 2 items in here left, 1 or 2 items in here left in all these codes. What I would do is take them both down. I would end those items and relist them new. So then you're saving 2 boxes for 2 items instead of like consolidating. Where are you going to go? And you don't want to consolidate all 4 of these. It'd be getting crazy with all the codes.
You'd have
so I would take the
48
2
items,
down. I would end the listings, relist them, and now you freed up 2 boxes right there, which is big. It's a big deal if you can do that 20, 30 times. You're talking about a whole shelving unit almost.
So hopefully that helps you a little bit there as to the various problems that you can run into, because again, you're going to be selling items, and we don't all have infinite amount of room in order to put stuff.
Yeah.
And the sooner that you can set up your system and know how you're going to handle it, the better off. We've got videos up about mistakes that we made early on in inventory.
Right.
Don't make those mistakes. That's really the best that I can offer you, because I mean, I used to spend way too much time looking for things. I would be spending 10, 15 minutes looking for an item because I said, oh, it's a magazine. I know where that is. It's in, well, is it in the movie magazines? Is it in the oversized magazines? Is it in the digest magazines? Is it in the regular magazines? Is it in the sports magazines? Is it in the mystery magazines? Or is it in the magazines I haven't yet put away? Right. So that was 8 different places that I could potentially be looking for a magazine. Now, it's in box E40.
Right.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So do get your inventory in place. Now we're going to head over this way.
Hold on, don't skip the heat beast. How about the heat beast? This is our gigantic heater that keeps us warm in the winter. And it's so old and so good that you can leave it on for about an hour. It'll heat the warehouse for the whole day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now it does cost a lot to run it, but it's still, you have to run it anyways because we don't want anything freezing up. But
well, let me ask this. What would, you probably haven't looked into it yet.
Oh, I've looked into it. As soon as I bought the place, I looked into a replacement.
Yeah.
There's 2 smaller units you can get. It's going to be anywhere from like 25 to 50,000. Yeah.
So that's an expense.
So I'm milking this as long as I can. I mean, it's triple the price in the winter. It's not the end of the world. It's not crazy money. But it saves, it's cheaper to spend a few extra thousand in the winter than to buy a $40,000, $50,000 unit right now. But at some point, we're definitely going to look into getting more efficient heating in here. Yeah.
And then we've got back over here a surprise for a future video back over there.
The mystery tarp. Yeah, we have a lot of those around here.
And then this over here is the comic books, as we spoke about. And we're going to head out over this way.
Yep. So this unit here we built as well recently to keep more toys on and other miscellaneous boxes right now. But I think what we're going to do is after Christmas, we're going to empty it, find another spot for this. And I'm thinking this is where I'm going to restart the toy consolidation, just because it's so close to those boxes there. I can bring them right over. If you can see they're a little off there, but we did them so you can put 3 boxes, stack them high, and 2, and I think and 2 and then 3. Which it's easy for the toys because they're light. So you can stack them, where if it's magazines, you don't want to be taking 50-pound boxes stacking them there. So it's a good start for us to do toy consolidation come January.
Now I do have a question as I look at it.
Yep.
Have you ever thought about, or is there a reason why you've got the boxes directly on the floor?
I never thought of it 3 years ago. At this point, there's nothing we can do just because there's not a lot of room for anything else underneath it. Hopefully we won't have any water issues. We've been lucky thus far as that goes. In the back we had some water issues along the wall, and then we did prop up like pallets and wood and stuff to hopefully save that issue in the future. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately at this point there's nothing we can do about that now.
No, right, yeah, you can't exactly
It's too much square footage. And if you think about it, say you wanted to buy boards, if you bought wooden boards, you're talking about $60 per, and we have 110 units.
Ooh.
You know, so that would be very costly.
Yes, it would be. Yes, it would be.
Yeah.
So we'll head on over this way, and we'll end this video.
Yeah,
over
these
here.
are recently created end caps of boxes from some magazine deals, and what happens is we try and take the better stuff, put it nearby, and then the lesser stuff gets moved into the pod. So unfortunately, we're moving things twice sometimes, but I'd rather get rid of the lesser valuable, dead weight, scared stuff and put it in a pod, and then the stuff that's going to be on sooner would be at our disposal right here.
And we're going to end this video up over here with some stuff that we've seen before in a haul video, I believe. Yep. These are the sports cards. You've got them tarped up now at this point.
Yeah.
You've been picking through them.
I have. I've skimmed through a lot of them. This is the stuff with lesser cards, and lesser cards meaning $3, $4, $5, $10 cards, and then the higher end stuff, the Jordans and all that. I got that in the safe room for future listings.
Yep, so if you haven't checked out the video, it's one of our Monday haul videos featuring Mr. Magazine, and it shows the this card deal, and we go through it a little more, so hopefully that'll help you some. And the last thing over here, the great green screen that we use for all of our videos. So there it is. Now taking you a little bit behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it's covering the mystery tarp.
Look at how that worked out. So hit the like button if you could. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about this, especially with the inventory. Trust me, if you do not have an inventory system up yet, check out our videos on it or reach out to us. We'll help you out as best we're able to as well. Probably one of the most important things that's overlooked. Get your inventory system in place from the start. You'll be very thankful because you won't have the problems that we had. Do hit the like button, and we'll see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.